We're joined by Tim Ferry of the Monster Kawasaki team. And Tim, it was a surprise at this time last year. You were just signed with Kawasaki. We didn't really know where you were going to fit in the results. Maybe you didn't either. But obviously, the year has to have exceeded a lot of people's expectations, and maybe even yours.
This is my first race with Kawasaki last year, and I went 5-6. Burner ended up beating me out, but for that spot, it took his ride. But it was a good race for me. I knew where I was at, and it's kind of the same reason I think that we're here this year to see what we need to work on. We got a couple months before Anaheim 1, and it's a good event. It's a low stress event. It's obviously we want to win, but at the same time it's a lot of fun.
So do you look at looking at that big bonus and the trifecta bonus as something that you can really go out and grab this year?
Well, obviously that's the main goal to come in is to win that, try to win everything. But I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl. Last year that was a good event for me, and that's one thing I like about this race, that they've changed things up that's different from just a normal Supercross, and it's pretty cool to have be the only bike on the track, and to go out of the tunnel and everything to be silent, and all of a sudden you come back in. It's a pretty good feeling to have all the eyes on you, and it's a little nerve-wracking at the same time.
This year, the 10th anniversary, something a little bit different. You've used to being going and riding against guys with 450s, but now you got the 250Fs out there with you. Is that going to have an advantage or disadvantage for you?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure yet. I think once we get on the track and we're racing, those bikes are really these turns are a little smaller than Supercross, so those bikes are going to be able to whip around the turns a little faster. I still think I feel that the 450 is an advantage, just having that extra power going out of the tunnel and coming back in. I don't know. I think 450 is the still bike to go with, but it's going to be interesting. It's different. Something that I just said a minute ago. We got the Super Pole trifecta. I'm glad to see some changes. That's cool.
I got a question for you, Timmy. I know last year when you started getting those podiums, you knew you needed a little bit more speed to maybe try to contend for a win, and you said it probably would take the off season to work on some technique. Have you started doing any of that in the month we've had pretty much between Glen Helen and now, or are there things you're planning on trying this weekend to try to get a little quicker?
Actually, I have been. I've been working on my speed. That's something that I didn't point out. I think if I can get a little more speed, and that will make my racing a lot easier. I think James and Chad just were a step above me speed-wise, and no matter how hard I tried, they were just a little better. But I think I'm going to use this 3 months. I've already started working on some stuff, and I'm trying to adapt as I get older. I'm over 30 years old, so I'm trying to adapt to the new styles of the riders, of all the the young kids coming up. So that's a challenge for me, but at the same time, that's kind of what's keeping me motivated and keeping me moving.
Another question for you, Tim. So do you come into this race looking at it as a preview for 2008, or is this just a standalone event that you want to come out here and make a lot of money and just do well for yourself?
Actually, I really just want to come and have a good time. I had a good time last year, and obviously the money is great to win it. But at the same time, I think we can make more money at a normal Supercross. But I think it's just kind of see where we're at, and I don't want to put too much pressure on this race, and it's not really going to affect Anaheim. I'm not going to, if it's a bad result, I'm not going to take it into Anaheim. It's more of a seeing where the bike's at, seeing where my endurance is, and what I need to work on. But at the same time, I think the most important thing is to have a good time in Las Vegas.
One more thing I'll ask for people that are maybe not as familiar with this event. It is a little bit tighter track than a traditional Supercross. You kind of mentioned that even the smaller bikes would have an advantage. And we always talk about there's a little more bar banging out there. Just tell people who maybe aren't familiar the differences of racing on a track of this size compared to a traditional Supercross track.
Well, I think you definitely have to set up the passes a lot more. It's more of a block pass. I remember back when I was riding, everybody was on 2-stroke, and I was on a 4-stroke. They thought that you couldn't ride this track on a 4-stroke, and I think it actually works better sometimes with the engine braking and things like that. I feel like I could get in the corners better and get the bike turned around quicker because of the engine braking. So I don't think it being tight is a disadvantage back to Jim with the 450 and 250F. But you're definitely going to see a little more bar banging, and nothing too bad, hopefully.
This is Vegas, and show is the most important thing, not just money. Do you have any special trick for the next 2 nights here for the crowd? You don't show off too much, but you want to see a little more.
Yeah, I'm working on a backflip right now. No, I think the racing is going to be exciting. I think James is coming back from injury, so he's got he wants to prove that he's got some speed, and the same with Chad. I think I think there's going to be some good racing. I don't think there's going to be any too many knacks or backflips or anything like that, but I think the crowd's going to get a good show.